In this video, I'd like to talk about one of the two types of networking architecture that's really common in the video game industry. This one's called client-server. A client-server architecture is, well, pretty straightforward based on the name. You have a server, and then you have multiple clients that are connecting to it. Now, a quick explanation of what a server is, as well as what a client is. Servers, there's a common misconception that servers are these really specialized machines, or something different than the desktops that we have in our in our bedrooms. But they're not. These servers are actually just regular plain old computers with a specialized job. In fact, a lot of the devices that you have right now may be acting as servers. When you go to view this video, you're probably looking or connecting to a web server, which is running on some sort of machine. On any of your desktop or laptops, or potentially even your cell phones, you could run a web server. You could host a website, and your machine would act as a server. Really, servers are just regular plain old computers that are running server applications, which are programs that we've developed to specifically wait for connections from clients. Clients are just the name that we call a machine that is running a piece of software that's intended to connect to this server. Your web browser is the client when you're connecting to a web server. When you go to YouTube or you go to the LMS for SNHU, your client is Chrome or Safari, and the web server may be running on some machine in a database or in a data center somewhere, or maybe running on a laptop. Who knows? One thing that's really important about this idea of client-server architecture is that it provides us the opportunity to have authoritative servers. Authoritative servers are really important in the game industry. We've all seen games that have come out and essentially flopped because there's a lot of cheating or hacking, and authoritative servers are really the best thing that we have as game developers to sort of fight against those. Now, an authoritative server is essentially the idea of this server machine is the one true authority over what's happening in this simulation. So when we're playing a racing game online and we have 3 clients connected to each other, and we all think that we cross the finish line at the same time, this server machine is the one that can make the call, make the judgment on who actually crossed the finish line. When we're playing a fighting game, this server machine can be the one that dictates who is it that pushed the buttons first. Without this idea of authoritative servers, who knows what's happening? Who's actually responsible for it? And that's a big challenge. The next thing is, these servers, it doesn't mean that they own the objects in these simulations. Authoritative servers don't need to own the cars in a racing game. These individual clients can still own those objects. They can still be in charge of the positions, they can still be in charge of steering, and sending those messages to other clients to tell them how they are moving around the world. But that doesn't mean that these servers can't be the ownership of objects. We could be playing an online game where the 3 of us are grouped together. We're playing remotely in different parts of the country, and we're fighting a boss. The boss, that object, that monster, could be controlled or owned by one of our clients, or it could be controlled or owned by the server itself. I've worked on games where both situations have happened, and sometimes it makes sense to put it on these clients, and sometimes it makes sense to have the server run the logic, right? Especially if we want to take advantage of this idea of authoritative servers. Some of the other benefits of doing a client-server model, well, it can be easier to separate your logic. What is it that only the server needs to be in charge of? What is it that only your clients need to be in charge of, right? With a lot of larger games, there's actually back-end databases that store your saved game data. Things like an MMO would be connecting to a back-end database, and you would only want your server connecting to it. You wouldn't want clients directly connecting to their data in their database. So having this idea of, or using this client-server model, allows you the flexibility to do that, to sort of gate who has control and connections, to various different resources within your company's network, right? Or the different assets that you need to provide to the game itself. Having these servers also allows us to do some more flexible and creative things. We can have clients who connect and disconnect without any concern of the game going up or going down. If one of these clients starts to lag a lot, well, the server can kick them, or the server can keep running the game nice and smoothly, and this client can just catch up when they can, right? So there's a lot of good benefits to using this client server model. Some of the downsides, well, our company has to run these dedicated servers now. Where do we put these? What are these machines? Who's paying for them? A lot of games have monthly subscriptions, and this is where your money's going. It's going to pay for these data centers that are running these dedicated servers to run your game. When you go to connect to a game like Rocket League, you may see a bunch of text saying that it's building or creating a dedicated server for you right then on the fly. And there are services out there to do that. And those services cost money. Game developers and the studios need to pay for these servers. So a lot of times this can be a cost prohibitive model. The other downside to having to maintain these servers and pay for these servers is, well, your favorite games can shut down. We've all heard of games where the studio decide to shut down the servers. Well, that means that they're shutting these things down. Right? You still have the clients installed on your machines. You can go download it on Steam or go download it off the website. But if you don't have the server to connect to, your game's not going to be able to run. Right? In general, client server tends to be a really popular choice for game development because of the benefits that it provides us. But there are the trade-offs.